Let's hit it. All right, we are now live. Hey players, welcome to another live stream here on my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Josh. Every single week I make videos sharing tips, ideas, and stories teaching you how to be your best self. And in this live stream, I'm going to be sharing 5 expert tips on how you can stop school stress and anxiety from ruining your life. Look, I know a lot of you guys have gone back to school. Some of you are doing remote schooling. Some of you are back in class. Some of you are in college. Some of you in high school. Some of you in middle school. Wherever you are in the school, spectrum of different grades and stuff, one thing that does remain constant is dealing with a lot of stress, tests, homework, quizzes, anxiety, all of it kind of compiling to just put a lot on your plate. Even if you're someone that's not currently in school right now, chances are, whether it's work or family life or friends or just the fact that you're quarantined at home, creates a lot of stress and anxiety. So I want to share a few expert tips on how you can start to manage that stress and anxiety so that it doesn't overwhelm you, it doesn't make you feel like you're incapable of doing anything about it, and it'll actually help you get a leg up when you start to feel down and just not capable of doing what you want to do. Okay, let me just close that. Okay, so before I jump into those points, I want to give shout outs to all the early birds here in the chat. So if you're someone that is jumping in here for the very first time, if you're someone that's a regular here on the live streams, make sure to jump into the chat right now, hit the like button and write the word hi or hello or hey, whatever you feel comfortable with. Just introduce yourself here in the chat so we can see who all the early birds here right at the beginning and get go. Let's see who we got in here. Hamish is in here. Hamish, good to see you, man. Stuart Douglas is in here. Stuart, always a pleasure to have you, my man. VO1DY, Valdi maybe? Yancey is in here. Alexander Cole. Palmer is in here. Just Some Green Dude. Mauro DeMarchi. Big Dorian Music. Scott is in here. Red Lightning. Anthony Quentel. Moderator Anthony checking in. Good to have you, Anthony. Cheyenne Hall. Clickfire is in here. Haley Davidson. Good to have you guys in here. Let's see, Jeremiah Patterson is in here as well. TTV, JI Streams is in here. Dave Video Studio, Donna the Gamer, what's up, my man? Jalen is in here. Robin Schroeder is in here. Rage Master, Maddie PY, Mauro DeMarchi. I already said Mauro DeMarchi. Kyle Scott is in here. Dynamite is in here. The Double A Twins, Matt Laws is in here. Help me, you said, Double A Twins. Sure, ask your question, pop it into the chat, and I'll try to catch them and answer them as I go along. Now, as I walk through these points, though, if you have a burning question, this is something that is on your mind that you just need my opinion about, you need me to answer and just give you my advice right now, you can always use the super chat function. I treat super chats like burning questions. So when you ask that question, I'll hear a little fire sound, and then I'll put it right front and center in front of me. I'll stop what I'm talking about, and I will answer your question then and there. You could donate $1, $2, $5, whatever it is that you want to. Your super chat will pop right up. I'll stop, and I'll answer and talk about what's on your mind. So let me jump back in here. So like I said, if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up on this, but let's kind of talk about school stress in general. Why is it that we get so stressed out about school? Why is the environment set up to stress us out, right? A lot of times the way school is kind of set up is to kind of be in a more robotic pattern, right? School is kind of created in a way to kind of push us into this cycle of work mode. Right? So the same way that you'd go to a job, you work 9 to 5, you come home, you rinse and repeat, school kind of operates in the same process. Is this the best way to learn? Is this the most effective way to teach someone? I don't think so, but it's the system that we have currently. But what ends up happening is the system that we have creates a lot of stress. You have multiple classes with multiple tests and multiple deadlines. Sometimes it can feel extremely overwhelming to manage it all. And then to add into that, if you come across a class that you're struggling in, man, that can just totally take your mind off of everything else. It might be hard to, be up and feel good about yourself if you're failing a class and you think your parents are going to get upset with you, or if you're failing in college and you're afraid you might get kicked out or you might have to repeat that class. There's a lot of stress and anxiety that can build up. So I want to start this off with a chat poll here, guys. I want to ask you this. Have you ever felt stressed out because of school before? write yes or no in the chat. I want to see what you guys have to say. I know for me, I stressed a lot when I was in college and even when I was in high school. There were some classes that I just really struggled with. For me in high school, a lot of it was the science classes. Biology and chemistry were tough for me. And for some reason, no matter how much I studied or how hard I tried, I never seemed to get the type of grades that I wanted. I just kind of barely scraped by enough to pass. And there were times where I just failed tests or did really bad. And I just felt down about myself. I felt like I was stupid. I'm not good enough. My parents are going to be upset with me. So if you've ever been in a position where you've stressed out about school, I want to hear it in the chat. Let's see what you guys are saying here. A Pizza with 1,000 subscribers says, when can I get unbanned from the Discord? A Pizza with 1,000 subscribers, message me, DM me on Instagram, and I will talk to the mods, and we will see what we can do. Okay, so I asked you guys, have you ever felt stressed out because of school? Hamish says yes. Yancey says yes. DTK says yes. Mythmaster says yes. Christian says, I graduated high school, but definitely yes. Yeah, even if you guys have graduated, we're talking more so about the environment school creates. And even if you're not in school, it's still easy to feel stressed out about other types of environments you might be in. So I think this will be helpful. I'm seeing yes all down the board, guys. Yes. Anthony says, I was going to say Alexander. Anthony says, I've been stressed out once in my AP computer science class. Stuart says, yes, but I quit school literally yesterday because I was sick of it. Alex Burns says, yes, of bullies. I hear you on that. Everglow says, I have CP and AP classes and I still don't get them any assignments. Let's see. Alexander Cole says, not me. I got good grades, 4 A's and an A and a C. Awesome. Rage Master said, yep, school changed too many laws. Yep, so it seems like stress is something that has happened to most of us. So let's jump into the first point here. And I'm going to walk you guys through not only just tips on what you can do, but for each of the different tips, I've outlined a different resource that you can check out that I think would be helpful for you. So I'm going to kind of outline the tip, and then we'll walk into the resource and how I've used these resources before to kind of help me as well. Tip number 1 is going to be this, guys. Make self-care a daily essential activity. Now, when I talk about self-care, what I really mean is this. I think that what ends up happening is that when you're young and you're in school and you're in class, it's very easy to find yourself staying up late sometimes, not really studying, putting work off for the last minute, not really eating that healthy, waking up late whenever you have the option to. We don't always prioritize self-care, I think, when we're younger. And I think that can definitely have an impact on how well we perform in school, how sharp we feel, how ready we feel for our classes. If you're the type of person that maybe is skipping out on getting the right amount of sleep, or you kind of eat junk food all the time, that can make you feel more lethargic and tired and just not energized enough to want to participate in school and to participate in your classes. So developing a self-care routine, I think, is a good first step in managing stress and anxiety. So what does a good self-care routine look like? Well, in my opinion, I think a good self-care routine has to involve a few key things. One of them is you need time to kind of take your mind off of schoolwork, right? So it's working time in your day to kind of just unwind without distraction, right? Like, I'm not saying, okay, watch TV as opposed to doing homework. I mean time to just think and be for yourself. Maybe that's lying in bed and just listening to calm music. Maybe that's going for a walk. Maybe that's exercising. Something where the focus is on the here and the now, not something where you could be distracted like TV or video games. Working in something that you can do where you're present-minded, I think, is a good first step, along with getting more sleep and eating healthier, and then also kind of just working activities into your day where you feel energized and happy about, right? So having hobbies that you enjoy can be a part of a good self-care routine. So the resource I want to share with you guys here is an app that I use called Calm. Now, Calm is a meditation app. You can download it on iPhone and Android, or go to calm.com if you want. But what I love about the Calm app, and this is not sponsored by Calm here, it's just an app that I use daily, is that I use Calm every single morning. So I put up the daily Calm there. I use the daily Calm, which is a 10-minute mindfulness practice where it's just 10-minute meditation to help get you centered, to help get you prepared, to help you feel a little bit more relaxed and ready to start your day. And what's cool about Calm is that they have other things too. They have, daily meditation. So if in the middle there, it says like 7 days of self-esteem. So that's a 7-day meditation series. They have sleep stories that you can listen to when you're going to sleep. Overall, I think it's a really, really awesome app. This is not sponsored by Calm. I do have a sponsorship coming later that I'm going to talk about, but this one is just me talking, share my love for Calm, because I tried to pair resources to the different tips here. And I think that the Calm app would be super helpful for you guys. They have a free version, and then you can pay to have like the monthly subscription, but I would recommend just even starting with the free version so that you have something to help you start to meditate and to be more present-minded in your day-to-day. Because going back to that first tip, guys, when I say make self-care a daily essential activity, this doesn't just mean, cool, like go to sleep early one night, eat healthy one night. This means try to incorporate these behaviors into your day-to-day, because I think that taking control over those moments, over the things that you can actively control, which is trying to eat better or trying to sleep earlier or trying to meditate more, trying to work in a hobby and some time for yourself, is going to allow you to not get so overwhelmed and so wrapped up in school and grades and, going to a good college and all those pieces there. Those things are important, but you shouldn't allow them to define you and determine how you want to live your life and your path forward in life, right? Failing a class or getting a bad grade doesn't make you who you are. It just means that that's something you can work on, something that you can improve, something you can try harder for. And there are many ways to try to improve your grades, but I think that having a good self-care routine where you can kind of feel more calm and relaxed in your day is going to allow you to kind of start to take more ownership over, how you choose to operate and feel. So we'll do a quick chat poll here. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. For some of you that are actively doing it, for those that aren't, what would be a self-care activity that you'd want to incorporate more into your day? Is it, I want to get 8 hours of sleep? Is it, I want to eat healthier? Is it, I want to exercise more? Is it, I want to practice my hobby? Maybe that's playing an instrument. Maybe that's making videos. I want to practice my hobby more often. Is it, I want to start to meditate during the day, even if it's a 5-minute meditation or a 10-minute meditation. I want to walk more. What's a self-care activity that you want to start incorporating for yourself? For me, I felt like recently the activity I wanted to incorporate more was exercising. So if you guys have seen on my Instagram stories and stuff like that, I've been posting that I've been exercising and working out, a few times a week now. So to me, it just feels good to incorporate that because I feel energized. I feel more excited. I feel more, stronger, all the different pieces that come with working out. So that's something I've started incorporating more as a self-care routine, self-care activity for myself. Hearing what you guys have to say here, Scott says, just listening to music always helps regulate my emotions, or I find writing quite relaxing. That's awesome, Scott. That's really cool. I'm curious, what are some things you like to write, Scott? Is it novels, short stories, poems, or what's kind of your thing? Anthony Kentel says, Arby, last warning. Arby, I'm not sure what's going on. I think you mentioned you got rejected. Azim says, eat healthy and exercise. Yeah, that's really awesome. Cool. Haley says, I want to practice drawing more often and doing skincare every morning. Haley, I think your drawings are awesome. Guys, in case you didn't know, go follow Haley. Haley, put your Instagram handle in the chat there so people follow you. She's starting to draw more and she's done a few Josh Speaks art, which is amazing in my mind. It's like, that's so cool. But she's practicing more drawing, so kudos to you there. That's really awesome. And doing skincare every morning. Yeah, definitely. Having a good skincare routine when your face feels refreshed, you feel energized, is such a good thing to practice and start the day with. Stuart says, now that I've left school, I want to practice boxing more. That's awesome, Stuart. Yeah, that's really cool. Donna says, I need to exercise and eat healthier. I might be skinny, but I know I'm out of shape. I hear you on that. Sometimes the benefit of exercising is just so you can also feel better about yourself. You start to lose weight, you start to get more fit and stuff, but it just feels good to know that you're actively doing something that's good for yourself. Everglow says, I play piano and I'm pushing to be at a masterful level and I'm taking vocal lessons. That's really cool. That's so awesome, man. Good to hear that. Arby, I'm curious, what's a self-care activity that you feel you want to start incorporating more? Yeah, Arby, I don't want you to get kicked, man. So try not to spam. Try to be part of the conversation. I'm like I said, I want to know what's a self-care activity you've been trying. Scott says, mix of short stories and novels as well, mostly inspired from books I read. That's really cool, man. That's awesome. That's really cool. Kyle Scott says, music calms me down. Nice. That's awesome, Kyle. Yeah, and guys, like I said, the Calm app is, like I said, the free version, and then they have the paid one, but it's such a wonderful app to use for meditation. There's Calm. There's another app called Headspace. There's a lot of different meditation apps. This is the one I prefer to use. I've been using it for years now. But I think it'd be a good thing to start, if you wanted to start adding meditation into your days. And basically, I'll tell you how my meditations work. This is my meditations. I wake up in the morning, brush my teeth, come here to this room, and I sit down in this red couch thing over here. And it's dark outside because it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I just put on the daily calm, which is like 10 minutes. It's 10-minute meditation. And I just close my eyes. I take in deep breaths and I listen to the guided meditation. And after listening to it, I feel like it helps me set the tone for the day where I'm a lot more relaxed. So things like stress and anxiety can't kind of get into my mind and just start to take over. But that's kind of the first tip I wanted to share with you guys. I want to move into the second tip here, but let me see what some of you guys said here. Daniel Reinstein said, Josh, I got a question. I'm a really small streamer who streams games on Twitch, and I'm trying to talk with big celebrities and gaming organizations. How can they notice me? That's a good question, Daniel. I would maybe say that if you wanted to reach out and connect with bigger gamers and streamers, try creating something that can catch their eye. So you might want to take their streams and create a highlight video and then share that with them. You might want to kind of take some of their quotes or funny clips and then turn that into small Instagram clips or Instagram things to share. I think ultimately to grab bigger creators' attentions, sometimes creating stuff where you can kind of show them, hey, look, I made artwork for you. Hey, I made this clip. Hey, I made this a quote image for you. That can kind of catch their attention because those are things that they can appreciate because like, oh, that's cool content I can share with my audience and then tag this person. But I think that might be a good way to kind of get your foot in the door. They may feel like, oh, wow, this person's trying to show me that they're really interested in a fan of my work beyond just saying, hey, can you stream with me? Which might not go very far. But that would be my advice there. Haley says, how do you wake up early? What do you do to help motivate you out of bed? That's a good question, Haley. My motivation really ultimately is, one, I have an alarm clock. And when your alarm clock, like me and my wife, it's like silent in the room. When my alarm clock goes off at 6 a.m, one of my motivations is I feel bad because she's probably going to keep sleeping till 7 or 8 or whenever she sleeps. But I feel bad with my alarm clock going off. So I quickly get up and I turn it off. That's one of my motivations, really, to not wake her up or get her upset. But I think also one of my other motivations is that there are a lot of things I love to do early in the morning, like right as soon as I get up. It's when I meditate, it's when I exercise, and it's when I start prepping stuff for Josh Speaks if I need to send out social media stuff or whatever I have to do. Knowing that I can do all of that before I have to sit down for my day job, that's kind of my motivation. Because I feel like if I take a little bit longer and go into my day job, then I feel like, oh, okay, like I have to splice it in and it gets complicated because I have a million things going on. So my motivation more so is kind of having tasks that I want to accomplish right at the beginning of the day. So I think that having a certain task that you want to kind of work on can help you kind of get more motivated to wake up. It isn't just like, I want to wake up to be up early. It's, I want to wake up early because I want to do this thing at 7 a.m. I want to do this thing at 8 a.m, whatever it may be. But I want to jump into point number 2 here, guys, and that's this. We're talking about ways that you can stop stress and anxiety from ruining your life. And this is going to be the second tip. Don't let overthinking spiral into more, I didn't mean to write more move overthinking, into more overthinking. When I say don't let overthinking spiral into more overthinking, I'm trying to be pretty straightforward there because here's kind of how this self-doubt spiral works. It's something I talked about in my previous video, and I'll link it up over here in the replay, but a lot of times when our mind, let's say we fail a test or we kind of are not doing well in a class, or we just, we're sitting in a class and we have no clue what's going on. We're just totally lost in the material. It's very easy. Once that negative thought is planted in our mind, it's very easy to build on that negative thought, right? And that chain can just keep going down quicker and quicker. So here's how that thought process might work. You're sitting in class and you don't understand the material. Your mind goes to, oh my God, I'm so going to fail this class. Like if we get a test, I'm just going to totally fail it. Then you think, oh my God, if I fail my test, my parents are going to be so angry with me. I'm going to be in such a bad place with them. And then you think, oh man, if I just keep failing my tests and my parents are upset with me, like what if they kick me out of the house? Or what if I get kicked out of school? Or what if this ruins my chances at college? Or what if I can't get a job? Or what if I end up homeless? Like, it's very easy for the negative spiral to keep going down. So overthinking can lead to more overthinking. What I want you to try actively doing is, one of the reasons why you might be experiencing a lot of stress and anxiety is because that overthinking just trails along. So here's how you catch it. Let's say you're in class and you got back a test grade and you got a 40 on it, failing test, right? And you're sitting there going, man, oh God, I feel so stupid. Like, why didn't I try harder? Oh my God, my parents are going to be upset with me, right? Catch yourself and say, hold on a second. I see right now I'm thinking negatively. Now, I'm not saying, oh, think positively and everything will be okay. I'm just saying don't follow the negative thought. It's very different. A lot of times people think, oh, just look at the positive side and think brightly about everything and everything will be okay. I'm not saying to do that. I'm saying don't allow yourself to fall in the negative thought. So if you say like, oh man, you know what? My parents are going to be so upset. Okay. Instead of saying, let me ignore it, say, what can I do about this right now? Maybe in this moment, as I'm sitting here holding this failed test, there's nothing I can do about it. So thinking about what I can do about it is not going to help right now. I need to go to my next class. I need to work on my next assignment. When I have time to sit and think about it, let me think of active solutions on what I can do about this, right? And most of the time when we find out that we failed the class or find out that we didn't do well on a test or we're flunking a class, we get very overwhelmed with emotion. And a lot of times it's negative, fear-based emotion. Stress and anxiety tend to seep in. And you're not going to make a positive decision that's going to help you out of it in that moment. You're not, right? You're not going to be sitting there failing your class and getting your failed test and go, okay, you know what? I'm going to go find a tutor. I'm going to go do this. You're not going to do that. So you need time and distance from that feeling, right? It's okay to feel sad that you failed the test. It's okay to feel that way. Give yourself some time and say, you know what? There's nothing I could do about it in this moment right now. Let me wait till I get home and then let me think about my options. And as you take that hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, whatever it takes you to get home, when you're home, now you, with a clearer mind where you're not so attached to those negative feelings that you had in the moment, you're a little bit more level-headed, you're a little bit more relaxed. You can say, all right, now let me work on finding an active solution. Now, I think that what happens a lot, though, is that we do fall into this negative place and we do start to doubt ourselves and beat ourselves up. I mean, looking at what Arby said right there, rejection 125 and counting, right? Sometimes we get rejected 125 times. Sometimes we fail every single test from a class. Sometimes we just can't quite understand what the heck is going on in math. We just can't get it. Or English language arts is just not interesting. We just can't connect to it. Sometimes things are not going the way that we want. And I think this isn't a matter of, just find a tutor and it'll be okay. Like, work hard and it'll be okay. Sometimes we do need to have someone we can talk to, whether that's a friend, whether that's a therapist, a counselor, a parent, someone that can help us process our thoughts, process our feelings, and then take active steps. Because sometimes it's not the grade and not the class that's really causing us to struggle. Sometimes it's external factors. Maybe we don't have a place in our home that's quiet enough for us to study. Or maybe there's just so many responsibilities that we just don't have time to dedicate to our work. Or maybe we just don't understand this topic and it's, you're kind of shy and nervous to reach out for help or to tell someone that you're struggling. So all these different factors can play a role here. And what I wanted to share here is this resource, guys. BetterHelp.com. I know every single one of you guys have already heard of BetterHelp. This is my BetterHelp. This is a sponsored link that I have. I'm working with BetterHelp on this. If you go to betterhelp.com/thejoshspeaks, it'll pair you up with a counselor that can help you figure out a solution for yourself. There are counselors for teenagers, counselors for people struggling in school, people with home issues. No matter where you are in life, teenager, young adult, wherever you may be, speaking to someone about the things that you're struggling with can be super, super helpful for you. And I think that this will be a resource that anyone can benefit from. Anyone. There's so many people that I think are dealing with a lot and they don't really have anyone to talk to. And I think BetterHelp can be a really, really good opportunity for you to kind of talk about what's on your mind and to work with a professional therapist to kind of figure out an active solution and path for you. Now, hold on. Let's take a sip of water here. Anyway, and I want to jump into a chat poll here, guys. Thanks for sharing the link, Donna. I want to jump into a chat poll here, guys, because I want to ask you this. Have you ever fell into the self-doubt spiral when it comes to thinking about schoolwork? And like I said, that BetterHelp spiral ends up being BetterHelp. What did I say? Not confusing the words. That negative thought spiral, the self-doubt spiral is what I said. That self-doubt spiral could just be beating yourself up over and over because things aren't working out your way. I know that Arby's experiencing it, and I think he's going through it right now. Saying things like, I'm not good enough, counting all his failures at dating. Like, that's the self-doubt spiral, guys, that a person could be experiencing, where they just keep believing that they're not good enough to succeed, believing that things will never work out for them. They'll never get the help they need. So have you ever fallen into the self-doubt spiral like that, especially when it comes to school and schoolwork? I know I have. Like I said, I recorded a video that I'm going to post on Tuesday about times that teachers in school embarrassed me. And one of the stories I share is about how my teacher just made me feel so bad about myself because I didn't pass an exam. And it just really, really stuck with me. It really, really hurt my feelings when he did that. So I know I've been there before, and I'm curious how many of you guys have been there, you know? Let's see. Red Lightning says, I have nothing for self-care. What's the point? Josh speaks. Well, Arby, I think that's the whole point. It's finding an active thing that you can do for your own self-care. Haley says, yep, sometimes I think I'll never be good enough to reach the grades I want. Secret of Two Guys says, yes, all the time. Sarcasm says, bro, ask him to answer in depth negative thoughts, destroying. I'm not sure I understand what that means. Kyle Scott says, every single day as I'm still in school. I hear you on that. Alexander Cole says, and Hexa, my friend, says she likes me. She missed me. What should I do? Believe him or not? I'm not sure, Alexander. I think I might have missed the first part of that. Dark Tar says, yes. Let's see. Everglow says, yes, I've had self-doubt spirals when my grades got bad at the worst time. Yeah, I hear you guys on that. Dono says, yes. Rage Master says, I was actually talking to Josh because I would like to know his thoughts on vaping. To answer that quick, my thoughts on vaping, I don't think it's a good thing. I think any kind of smoke inhalation is actually bad for you. And vaping is just another thing where, and I watched a video on vaping, not to sidetrack here. I watched a video on vaping about how, what happens is that the heat inside the vape ends up turning the powder or crystals, whatever it is, into gas. And then when the gas kind of goes into your lungs, it starts to crystallize and form. So it can actually lead to a lot of respiratory problems. It's the same issue that happens with smoking cigarettes, same issue that can happen with smoking marijuana. Any kind of smoke inhalation, no matter what the type of substance is, it's like the only thing that's good for us to breathe in is oxygen. And anything else can kind of interfere over time with our lungs. So that's my thoughts on vaping. I'm not a big advocate for any kind of smoke inhalation, just based on what the research says and what the data shows. That's my perspective. But anyway, guys, yeah, it sounds like, a lot of you have kind of felt like you were in this kind of self-doubt spiral before. And like I said, I think a resource like BetterHelp could be super, super helpful for you if you're looking to reach out to someone to kind of speak to, if you're looking for an online counselor to talk about what's going on in your life. Like I said, a lot of times school problems don't start at school. It maybe starts in the home. It starts with your parents doubting you and not believing in you, or not feeling like you have a safe space to study and do your work, and you're kind of cramming it in because you're getting bothered all the time. There's a lot of issues that can affect schoolwork and can create stress and anxiety. So it's important to acknowledge where some of these challenges exist for you and to have someone to talk to about it. I'm going to jump into point number 3 here, but I want to read some more things you guys are saying. Sarcasm says, I'm a highly nic addict. What's nic? Oh, nicotine addict. Okay. And fap 2 times a day. I need help. I ruin relationships with trust issues. Yeah, so I think that if you're addicted to nicotine and you find yourself constantly fapping like that, one thing you may want to think about doing for the nicotine piece is, first off, I think that the way to kind of stop it is to stop buying it, right? Like, if you can tell yourself, I'm not going to buy it. If the only time I'm going to use it, if I get it from a friend or I find it somewhere, whatever it is. But if you stop purchasing it, that'll be the first step. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, just cut cold turkey. But probably finding a replacement substance, something that you can eat instead, or something that you can drink, or something that's not alcohol, but like something else that you can do that it can kind of cure that. Because what happens is it becomes habitual. You just get so into the habit of nicotine, smoking cigarettes, or whatever it is, however you're consuming it, that if you can find something to replace that with, that'll be the key step. I'm not an expert so much in that, but and then with the fapping 2 times a day, I think that, yeah, that's a tough one. That's a real problem I think a lot of people run into, porn addictions and things like that. I'd honestly say that the way to kind of work out of that, to work out of that porn addiction is, the same thing too, we're talking about kind of catching those thoughts when they occur. When you find yourself feeling the urge to do that, do push-ups until fail. Like, I feel like that's a thing, because the idea is that, like, if you do push-ups till fail, you're going to tire yourself out. You might get sweaty. You might want to shower. And I think that whole activity might kind of kill the desire to jump in and fap and watch porn and things like that. So that'd be my kind of solution. Maybe try something like that. But I think ultimately speaking, if you feel it's a real deep issue, speaking to someone about it, a specialist or a therapist or a counselor, would be the most helpful. All right, I want to jump into point number 3 here, guys. We're talking about I'm sharing 5 expert tips on how to stop school stress and anxiety from ruining your life. Let's jump into point number 3 here, guys, and that's this. Tip number 3 is going to be to schedule as much of your day as best as you can. Now, look, I'm not saying sit there and from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, have everything planned out. That's not what I mean. When I say schedule as much as you can, I mean start organizing the things that you want to do in a day. Start, whether that's, hey, you know what? I want to study every single day. I want to get my homework done before I eat dinner. I want to have some time to play video games. I want to exercise, and I want to read. Let's say those are activities you want to do. Scheduling it and telling yourself, okay, reading, maybe I'll read for half an hour a day. Okay, where can I fit that in? Maybe I could fit reading in after dinner. Exercising, maybe I can do that before I go to school. Like studying, maybe I do that after I come home from school. The more you can start to schedule out your day and kind of have a plan for what you want to do, the easier it becomes to not feel overwhelmed and stressed out about things. Because here's what usually happens. We kind of only have a certain capacity for tasks that we have to do, right? If I tell you like 4 things you have to do, you might feel like, wow, that's a lot. And you might start to think, okay, when can I do it? How can I do it? Your mind starts rattling because you're trying to process 4 things. Now, let's say I throw in a 5th and I throw in a 6th. At some point, you're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel like it's a million tasks, even if I only added 1 or 2 on, because you may not feel like you have things organized in a way that you can manage them. And this is what leads to stress. This happens a lot with schoolwork, right? You have, let's say, 3 or 4 or 5 classes. You have homework in each class. You have tests to study for. You have exams and projects and all these different pieces, and it can feel incredibly overwhelming. So the best thing you can do is to start to break out the different tasks for things you want to do. If it's school projects, if it's homework, if it's exams that are upcoming. And what I would recommend is there's a tool that I want to show you guys that I use to manage my projects and stuff. Plus, you'll also get, for anyone watching, you'll get a quick preview of all the different projects I have in the horizon. But it's a tool that I've been using for years now to kind of organize my projects, organize my tasks, set up due dates and checklists and stuff, just for myself to stay more organized, because I feel like I have a lot of ideas and a lot of things I want to do and a lot on my plate. And this helps me kind of manage it and process my time a lot better. So that's why I said schedule it as best as you can, because it isn't about having a perfect schedule that you are 100% going to stick to all the time, but it is about having somewhat of a better idea of how your day is going to operate, where you feel like you're in more control. Because when you feel like you have more control over your day, it becomes easier to plan ahead for things like tests and exams and projects that are coming up. So I'm going to share the resource here, guys. This is what I use to kind of plan my projects and things like that. It's an app called Trello. Now, what's cool about Trello, it's available on an iPhone, Android. This screenshot I posted is from the desktop version, so you can see the whole wide thing. But what's cool about Trello is that it allows you to kind of create columns, different tasks. Each of those little white bubble things is a different task. And then in that task, I can go in and kind of mark, I have this exam, I have this homework, I have this project, or these are some links to things I have to check out. Using an app like Trello has definitely allowed me to stay more organized with everything that I'm doing. It allows me to know what projects I have coming up, know how to kind of coordinate and prioritize things. You can add due dates on things. You can add, you can add checklists. You can add attachments. Like if you look here, I have listed the different books that I'm working on, ebooks that I'm writing, courses I'm actually doing. Hint, guys, the book there that says Higher Ground, I'll say it now on the stream because I haven't officially promoted it. I just published it over on Amazon. It's a teen novel that I wrote. I'm going to be working on the paperback version soon, but pretty much that's the ebook version's available now. And I think for the first week, I have it set so you can download it for free. So if you want to read the ebook and check it out, guys, you could definitely check it out on Amazon for free right now, just for this week or so. But anyway, Trello is a wonderful, wonderful app for managing. What's cool too is that channel. I just read Ice Mine said, "Get a life, delete your channel." I don't know if you're talking to me, Ice Mine, but I don't think that's nice to say to anyone, man. I hope that you find the happiness that you desperately need in life. I hope one day you do. But like I said, Trello is just an amazing app. And plus, they have different templates too. So if you go into Trello's website, they have different templates. So if you can look up like school templates that organize it for you, the columns, they have it set up for like projects, homework, and this and that. It's just a really cool app, a really cool resource. It's free to use. So I would recommend it for anyone that's trying to get organized in their life and just organize their schoolwork better so you don't feel overwhelmed by everything. But here's what I would say, guys. Let's do a chat poll. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. When it comes to schoolwork, for those of you that are in school, and when it comes to those of you that are not in school, for everything else, do you feel organized in everything you have to do? Do you feel like your life and your work and your schoolwork is organized, or do you feel like it's more messy and unorganized and a bit chaotic? I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. Do you feel organized or chaotic? Let's see. Everyone watching right now, jump into the chat and share your perspective and your opinion. I want to know what you guys have to say and where you guys stand on everything. For myself, I feel like I'm getting more organized. I'm trying to get more organized with everything. There's a lot of things I want to do. If you saw that list there's a lot of creative projects I have that I'm planning out. And it's like, I only have so many hours in the day, right? And I only have so much time in those hours of the day. So I think, definitely finding a way to keep yourself accountable and organized with due dates and things like that can help you kind of manage your schoolwork better. Azim says, I have trouble scheduling days for making YouTube videos. Also, how many times to upload as a beginner? That's a good question, Azim. If you're having trouble kind of scheduling days for YouTubes, Azim, I want you to jump into the chat and answer. What do you feel like is your freest day to record videos? Is it the weekend? Is it middle of the week? Is it the early morning? Is it late at night? When do you feel like you have the most free time to record your videos? And another way to help you kind of stay on task is, I don't know if you do it just speaking off the cuff, but definitely writing scripts and planning out your videos will make it easier for you to kind of schedule that ahead. Because it's like if you write out a script and you say, oh, this will take me 10 minutes to read, but an hour to record and everything, that can kind of help you get more organized with that. Let's see. I asked you guys, do you feel like your life is kind of organized? Gabe Man says no. Adana says, haha, no. I'm the most unorganized person. I hear you on that. Gabe Man says absolutely not. Davidio says, yeah, I try my hardest to stay organized. Ria Chohan, I don't know if I said that correctly, says, no, it's messy. DTK says 50-50. Haley says it's not perfect, but I get it done. Definitely going to download that app though. Yeah, definitely, Haley. I think Trello is a really, really good resource to kind of help you. And it's just fun. It's just a fun way to organize columns and to set it up in this very visual way. I recommend using it on the computer because you can kind of see the full scope. It's good on mobile as well, but it's just easier to manage, in my opinion, on a computer. Let's see. Mythmaster says a mix of two. Red Lightning says I love rejection. Okay. Hamish K, I wouldn't do that. Vaping is bad for you. Yeah, to anyone that does vape, if you are interested, I can send you some videos and also some studies on it. They kind of talk about how smoke inhalation can be bad for the lungs, especially for young people. It can also affect brain development and cognitive processing as well, from what I understood, which basically means like how fast your brain may react to certain situations. I mean, it's like, these aren't the things you're going to see in the commercials. You're not going to see, your friends are not going to talk to you about, vaping actually affects blah, blah, blah. So it's good to know the research if it's something you're interested in doing or something you're interested in learning more about. Jalen says, hi Josh, things haven't been well for me. My crush hates me, her boyfriend hates me, and I can't go to school. I'm at home and I'm not at school. I'm sorry to hear that, Jalen. I know that things are tough for you, man. And I hope that as time goes on, you can kind of find a way to kind of move away from your crush and focus on developing yourself, man, because you're an awesome person. Every single time we talk, I really enjoy our conversations. Megan Wilson says, Ice Mind, that is so mean. Josh, I for one want to say thank you for your channel. Your channel has been so helpful to me. I developed so much confidence because of you. Thank you for bringing positivity. Thank you so much, Megan. I'm happy that you're a part of this community. And since we're talking about community, and I appreciate that comment, I appreciate you, Megan. Megan said, I'm also organized for most of the year. However, during exams and busy periods, it becomes more chaotic. Yeah, totally. I think that definitely there's certain points of the school year that probably are like super stressful, and then certain parts that are more relaxed. But Megan, I want to invite you and everyone else right now, and I'll pull it up, to join our community, because everything you just said, Megan, which was that, the idea of building confidence, bringing positivity is what we're trying to do over on Discord in our community. On Discord, basically, anyone who's a fan of the Josh Speaks or is just trying to work on being their best selves, this is the place you need to be, where you can make friends, you could talk about creative projects you're working on, you can talk about school and your dating life and things that you're dealing with. It's a community we've put together. We have some amazing moderators like Anthony Quentel's in here, Dono the Gamer, Haley's in here. They're all amazing people that are really just trying to help make this a positive place where people can kind of talk about what's going on in their lives and find active solutions to kind of work with each other and to figure things out. And plus to have people to hear you out sometimes. Sometimes it's good to just talk about what's on your mind and to have people kind of be there to, hear you. I think that's important. So definitely check out, go to the joshspeaks.com/Discord to check out our community and all the awesome stuff that we have going on over there. But I think it would be amazing to have each and every single one of you in there if you can. Amy says, I don't care. Nobody can stop me from vaping. I also smoke. I don't care. I'm going to die soon, 23 and lonely. I hope not, Hamish. I hope you're around for the long haul, man. I think you're an awesome guy. And I think you have more to offer this world. So, yeah, Anthony's a retired mod, but you're an active part of the community. That's, Haley says, life is funny. I'm funny. I'm in the Discord. Join it. You can't make a better argument than that. But I also want to say this, guys, too. If you do want to talk to me one-on-one, right, and you are thinking, hey, how can I kind of work with you, Josh, on figuring out an active path in my life or a solution, or can I meet with you privately and talk about what's on my mind? You certainly can. If you go over to patreon.com/thejoshspeaks, that's my Patreon page. Patreon is basically a way to it's like a subscriptions kind of service, and I have different tier levels there. At the champion level and beyond, if you go champion, hero, and then mentor level, those tier levels basically allow you to kind of set up a one-on-one video chat call, whether on Discord or Skype or Instagram or wherever you want to video chat. We can jump on a video chat and just talk for 30 minutes or an hour or 4 times a month for 4 hours a month, These are different ways for you to kind of communicate with me. I'm working with a lot of different people there on Patreon, and it's really cool and really fun because because I feel like I'm part of people's growth, and I'm excited to be in that position where they're able to share with me and we're able to talk things through and come up with active solutions and plans. There are some people now that I'm working with on the mentor level where I meet with them once a week, and every single week for an hour we go over, hey, what did you accomplish this week? What were some of your challenges? What were some of your setbacks? What are some things you can work on? Hey, let's try to set up a task list of things you can try to knock out for next week. And then the next week we catch up and reflect on that. So there are lots of different opportunities for you to work with me one-on-one if you feel like you want to talk to me about what's going on in your life, or if you feel like you want someone to help keep you accountable so you reach your goals. Patreon is the best way to kind of set that up, guys. So check it out, guys. Also, you can also become a YouTube member, which is the same kind of perk. What's cool about becoming a YouTube member is not only if you look Hamish K, Dono the Gamer, I think those are the only 2 right now that have the little icon next to their names. You get a little icon next to your name. Plus, if you are a YouTube member, channel member, you get to use these cool emojis right here whenever you post, which is awesome. There are a lot of awesome opportunities to connect with me, guys. So definitely check out the links to that or click the join button down below if you see it. And one thing I also want to say is this. right after this live stream. These live streams are about an hour. So I started 5 p.m. my time. I'll be ending around 6 p.m. I'm going to be going live right after that on Instagram for what I call the Instagram after party. And basically what that is it's a live stream where you and everyone watching right now is invited. I want to see you there. I love going on live on Instagram after, because what I do is I love to bring you guys on to video chat with me. So all you have to do is request to join, and I just bring person after person after person and just talk about whatever's on your mind. It's more laid back, more chill. All the cool kids are invited, including you. So I'd love to have you in there as well. But yeah, so those are some of the things I wanted to share here, guys. We have 2 more points to go through as we walk through these 5 expert tips to help you stop school stress and anxiety from ruining your life. They could be crazy. But yes, Austin asked a good question. What is your job, Josh? So I'll tell you a bit of my schedule too. I work for an education company. I do a lot of digital marketing stuff, right? So I went to college for marketing. That was my business. I got my business degree and the specialization was marketing. And I do digital marketing. So digital marketing basically is help setting up websites and web pages, sending out emails, creating kind of PDF guides or flyers or infographics or images. If we go to conferences and stuff, I create a lot of the printable stickers. I create a lot of the booth design, the stuff that's on the table that you hand out and give to people as they're passing the conference. A lot of the digital marketing stuff, how people kind of discover our education company and then use it in the classroom. I don't know if any of you guys use it. It's a company called Hopera, or Hapara, Hapara. But Hopera is the actual New Zealand pronunciation, the Maori. I always pronounce that correctly. Pronunciation of it. But that's the company I work for. So when I wake up in the morning, I wake up my new schedule is I wake up at 6 a.m., do my meditation, go downstairs to exercise, come back up, and I have a little bit of time before around 9 a.m. But in that time, that's when I'll kind of focus on Josh Speak stuff. Hey, maybe that's preparing what the next episode is, preparing what I'm going to do for my live stream, setting up, my email newsletter that goes out every week, responding to messages through my texting phone number, which I'll share with you guys now. If you want to text me, you can. I'm working with a company called 784. I'm pretty sure that's correct now. Now I'm doubting myself. But that's my texting number. I'll write it again here and then I'll pin it. 400. There we go. So YouTube technically isn't your job. Yeah, YouTube is just a part-time thing for me. My ultimate goal is to do everything for the Josh Speaks full-time. That's not where I am right now. But I love being able to work with people, and as I transition there, it's just an amazing thing. Yeah, YouTube is still a part-time thing for me. Right now, it's like we can talk. There's so many different things I'd love to talk more about YouTube, but I want to focus on top. If you have questions, guys, about what I do for YouTube, what I do through YouTube, how much money I make, how much I make through AdSense, where else do I make money? Any of those questions, feel free to DM me, and I'll tell you guys everything. Because I feel like when I was starting my channel and trying to grow it, I was trying to figure all these things out from other people. So I'm willing to share anything and everything just to kind of help you guys get a better understanding of everything. Anyway, is it on WhatsApp? I think you should try texting it through WhatsApp, see if it works. I'm not sure if it works. It might work. Dono says, digital marketing sounds interesting to me. Yeah, Dono, definitely. Shoot me a message, man. I'll tell you more about digital marketing. I love it, and I think you'd be perfect for it because I know you're just awesome with graphic design stuff, and you're super creative. So I think that's a really, really good field for you to start looking into. It's a field that you can work remotely for. I work remote. It's a field where you can be as creative and expressive as you want, and you could just find an industry that works well for you, even if that's working for Marvel or DC or gaming company or whatever it may be. Okay, back to the points here, guys. We are talking about school stress. Let's get through school stress. Okay, point number 4 is going to be this. Q&A video stream coming soon? Absolutely, Dono. Maybe I'll do a water video, and then maybe I'll do a Q&A stream at 200,000. Maybe I'll do that. We'll talk. We'll figure this out. Okay, tip number 4 is going to be this, guys. Don't compare your success to those around you. This is something that happens quite often, and it can happen a lot when you're in a school environment where you are trying your best, you're studying your hardest, and yet for some reason you still feel like you're falling short compared to other people. You still feel like for some reason you can't do well, and how come the other kids in your class are doing well? They must be smarter than you and you must be stupid. It's easy to feel this way. But the reason why I say don't compare your success to those around you is because every single person is coming from a different place of learning, right? Every single person processes and understands information differently. To compare yourself to someone else is kind of, it's like you're comparing not literally, you're figuratively comparing apples and oranges here. You guys are totally different because they may not have the same factors in your life that you do, right? This is, I think, one of my issues also with school is that it's so automated and it's not set up in an equity type of system where everyone needs different types of things to learn. Everyone's just assumed to learn the same way, but not everyone does learn the same way, but yet we compare ourselves as if we do. And that can lead to a lot of stress. It can lead to a lot of stress because you start to feel like you're not good enough in comparison to others. And look, this doesn't only have to do with school. You may look at others around you who are dating and getting girlfriends and getting into relationships and feel like, well, how come they can do it, but I can't? But I think when it comes to school, you really, really start to see like, as you get older, you start to feel like, okay, well, why aren't I doing better? How come I'm struggling so much? What's wrong with me? And I don't want you guys to think that way because there isn't anything wrong with you. Anything that is causing you to struggle or have troubles or you're just not understanding, these are all manageable things. And it's not to say that you figure out a solution and boom, you fix it and everything's good. Sometimes it might not be the right thing for you. It might not be the way that you're going to learn and grow. But recognize that all things that you are learning are going to come to you in stages. They're not just going to come to you like that. And one of the resources I wanted to share with you guys here is going to be this, which is my book, Embracing the Awkward, right? And the reason why I included it in, I think, here is because I feel like this idea of comparing yourself to others a lot of times falls into the category of first not recognizing what you bring to the table and just being yourself. And in this book, in my book, Embracing the Awkward, I really, really try my best to go deep into this idea of embracing your awkward, recognizing that you are valuable, you bring something to the table that matters, you are important, what you have to say, is special, and to not doubt yourself in the sense that thinking that because you're struggling or you're not good with something that, hey, you're not going to succeed. Ultimately, what I want you to really, really focus on and think about doing is thinking about how you can work on being your best self. And in my book, Embracing the Awkward, I think I really, really try my best to tackle that, guys. I really, really try my best to give you a path and a strategy for doing that. If you go to the joshspeaks.com/awkward, Dono shared the link there. I'm going to pin the link right now. Here we go, replace pin message. If you go to the joshspeaks.com/awkward, it'll take you to the Amazon page, guys. You can check it out. You can read it. It's available on paperback and Kindle, but I think it'd be super, super helpful for you guys to really, if you feel like you're struggling with doubting yourself or you feel like your mind is, all over the place and you can't concentrate, I think this book is going to give you a lot of practical tips. And I also share a lot of my own personal story in there. So if you want to learn about what it was like for me growing up, I think it'll be helpful for you. Hold on, let me go grab the book. Here we go. So I would highly recommend checking it out, guys. I think it'd be a super, super helpful resource for you. This is the book, Embracing the Awkward. Looking through all the different chapters here, I kind of break down different things like practicing mindfulness, there we go. Recovering from failure, managing and overcoming rejection. Hard to see, there we go. Understanding compassion, creating healthy relationships, building confidence, embracing the awkward. All in all, I think it'd be a good book for you to just read. It's not that expensive. Available on Amazon, guys. I think it'd be really, really good for you to check out, especially if you find yourself in a place where you're comparing yourself to others and you're not really realizing how valuable you are and what you bring to the table. So the Sun and Bleach book, if you look, the colors all fading away and everything. If you look too, I don't know if you could see it that well. The plastic that's on the back of the cover is kind of like all melted because the sun kind of has withered it away. I think what I'll do at some point is I will sign this book and I will raffle it off just to anyone that someone who wins, and I'll just send it over to you. But I want to jump in and ask you guys here. We'll do a quick chat poll, right? Quick chat poll. I want to ask you guys, do you ever find yourself comparing yourself to others, whether it's at school or anywhere else? You compare yourself to the success of others. You compare your grades to other people. You compare the amount of friends someone has, or how popular someone is, or whether someone's been in a relationship, whatever it may be. Have you ever been in that position where you compared yourself to others? Yes or no? I know I've been down that road lots and lots of times. So, if you have done it, it's okay. It's not something to feel bad about. It's a simple thing to acknowledge, because when you can acknowledge it, then you could start to work on it. I think that's the key. I want to jump in and see what some of you guys are saying here. Hamish says, I don't want to be single forever. I understand, Hamish. I don't think you'll be single forever. I don't think that. Yancey says, hey, Josh, if there was a prom at my school, how do I ask at a cheerleader prom if I feel so nervous in front of a crowd of kids before PE class? Yancey, that's a good question. I think that one way to kind of work through that nervousness when it comes to asking someone to prom is try to spend more time talking to them more regularly. I think that a lot of times the reason why we are so nervous to ask someone out, or to ask someone on a date, or to ask someone to prom, is because we haven't spent enough time talking to them regularly and then asking them to normally hang out. So before prom even gets there, try to hang out with that person once or twice or 3 times before. Because if you can hang out with them in a normal setting where you guys can talk and interact, it'll be easier to hang out with them in a prom setting, because they won't feel like it came out of nowhere. The ask came out of nowhere. They're going to feel like, okay, we've spent time before. It's not going to be weird. It's not going to be awkward. Haley says, yep, always feel jealous of how well people can speak up and make themselves known over voices of others. I hear you on that, Haley. Yeah, and I think that's a trouble. That's something that a lot of people struggle with. That's a trouble a lot of people run into, where, they feel like they have a lot to say, but there are louder voices in the room, or there are people that are more opinionated, so sometimes they take center stage. But I think ultimately it's so important to realize the power of your voice and what you have to say and how much that matters. Like, guys, I don't know how much I can say it, but it's like, I've spoke to so many of you, right? And it's like, just in hearing your story and hearing how you are someone that's caring for your friends, or you look after your parents, or you are a kind person to others, like, man, like, those are amazing things. That makes you such an amazing person. Just your kindness, your caring, your generosity, your understanding, your compassion, your empathy, all these factors make you such an amazing person with such an important voice to share. And there's so many people that don't possess those characters that are just loudmouths, right? They're just speaking. Tonight's debate's going to be an example of that. You're going to see that. You're going to see loudmouths just speaking, not having any sense of compassion or kindness or anything there. And just because people talk louder doesn't mean what they have to say is more important. And that's just the truth. Okay. Let's see. Some of you guys said no. Some of you say yes. I apologize for not jumping in. Hamish says, I haven't started reading the book yet. It's been by my bed for a year. Hamish, I hear you on that. I would recommend read it. Do what I do and tell yourself, I'm going to read 5 pages a day. And maybe take it like that. Don't look at it like, oh my God, it's a long book, it's overwhelming. Take it a few pages every single day. Dark Tar says, yes, happened to me with calculus. The class average was like 73 and I was failing. I hear you on that. Yes, sometimes when the debate, it's true. Sometimes when you kind of look at something like, oh, the class average is here and I'm below the average. Like I said, like you said, Dark Tar, it's easy to feel like, hey, wow, I'm not as good as everyone else. But like I said, any problems you run into, especially with school, are manageable problems. They're manageable because there are solutions and things you can do to actively work on them. And I'm going to get into point number 5 here. We're talking about 5 expert tips. I've done the research and I've looked up, hey, what do the experts say? What do the college organizations say? What do the research studies say? What do people who deal with stress and anxiety and help others deal with, what do the counselors say? These are 5 tips that I highly, highly recommend. I just kind of found my own spin and way to talk about them here. Wrong one. And that's going to be this, guys. Tip number 5 is to ask for help when you need it. There's no shame in it. I know it's very easy to feel like it's hard to talk about what's on your mind. It's hard to talk about your feelings. I think that, you printed the icebreakers and put into a book? That's really cool. Like I'm saying, it's hard sometimes to open up because you may feel like people are going to judge you. People are going to think, how come you didn't say anything earlier? What, are you not smart enough to understand it? It's easy to have those negative thoughts run through our minds. It's easy to feel like, hey, if I talk about what my problems are, that makes it real. That means I have to do something about it. And sometimes we don't want to do something about it. Sometimes we want to ignore them and put them to the back of our minds. It's easy to feel that way. But the reason why I say it's important to ask for help when you need it is because the only way that you're ever going to grow is if you kind of find ways to operate beyond your standard right now, right? So let's say there's a class you're struggling with, right? Like you're struggling with math class or science class or geology, social studies, whatever the class may be. Let's stick with something simple, math. Let's say you're struggling. Oh no, calculus. Let's use calculus because Dartar mentioned it. You're struggling in calculus. You feel like, wow, I'm operating below average. I suck. I'm no good. I'm dumb. All these thoughts are running through your mind. Like I said, stop yourself. Say, I'm thinking negative right now. I can't do anything about it. I can't change my grade sitting right here. I can't do it. Let me go home. Then let me think about it. I'm going to take my paper, put it in my bag, and I'm not even going to think about it for the rest of the day. I'm only going to focus on everything else. When you get home and you're ready to now find a way to deal with that grade, this is where I think resources like this, and this is just one of many, guys, one of many resources, is finding a tutor that you can work with. Now, I pulled up care.com here because I've worked with them in the past. This isn't a sponsored link or anything, but they do have a tutors page where you can find online tutors, you could find in-person tutors that can work with you. Guys, don't ever underestimate the value of working with a tutor. Here's the thing. Your teacher may not be the best person to teach you that subject. They may not be the best person to explain it in a way that you can understand. I know that may sound weird because you think, well, they're my teacher. Of course they are. No, they're not. Not every single person teaches in the way that you need to learn. So it's important to find alternative ways and alternative methods to approach different topics. Calculus is a good example. Some teachers, I remember I had a teacher in college that sucked at teaching calculus. And I just couldn't understand him. So I tried my best to look up things online, watch YouTube videos, and tried to learn that way. And I felt like I understood it better because the people in the videos explained it better. But if you're struggling and you really want to try to improve your grades and you need to do it fast, finding a tutor is a really, really good way to do that. Care.com has tutors available. There's lots and lots of websites that offer tutoring, online tutoring. I think given the way the world is now, online tutoring is probably the best way to go. And what's cool about it is that you could find someone probably to operate different times of the day. Rage Master says, I would highly recommend Khan Academy. Yeah, guys, Khan Academy is another great resource as well. There's so many opportunities out there and places you can turn to for online tutoring. But like I said, if you really, really feel like, you're struggling, asking for help is the best thing that you can do, guys. Trust me on that. I think it'd be super, super helpful for you to reach out if you're struggling where you are. So I'm going to do one more chat poll here, guys. I know we're running a little longer than normal, but I want to do one more chat poll here. I want to ask you guys this. For those of you that are in school, and for those of you that are no longer in school, ask yourself this. Is there a class that you're currently taking or have taken in the past that you felt that you could have probably benefited from for having, if you had a tutor for that class, do you think you could have benefited and probably done better in? I know for myself, if I had a tutor for my biology class or my chemistry class in high school, I would have probably done a lot better because I would have worked with someone specifically to kind of improve my grades. So I want you guys to think about that. Think about what's one class that you can probably benefit from to have a tutor in. I want you guys to type it in the chat right now. Azim, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I'll hear the burning sound in just a second here, but I'll jump into the question anyway. Azim said, in terms of comparing my success with someone else, I think Chris Stuckmann has a bigger voice than me, and my opinion gets lost in films. You ever feel that? Azim, I totally get where you're coming from on that. I think what ends up happening is this. It's that we look at a lot of the big cats out there, right? All the big YouTubers and successful people, and we feel like, well, everyone's watching their videos. Why would they watch mine, right? And I think ultimately what you have to, instead of looking at is, don't look so much at the view count, don't look so much at the subscriber count, look at the value count. Now, this is not the value count is not something that's measured in numbers or metrics. It's measured in feedback. It's measured in interaction. It's measured in kind words and how much someone appreciates you being there to help them. that value is what's going to kind of drive your channel forward. Yes, as time goes on, more and more people will attach to the value and your numbers will grow. That's the natural process of it. But knowing that what you're putting out there can influence and help someone's decision is the most important thing, right? Look at my channel, right? I'm coming close to 200,000 subscribers, but there are a lot of channels that make very similar videos to me that have millions of subscribers and get millions of views and hundreds of thousands of views per video, right? Now, I can sit here and go, well, what's the point of me making my rinky-dink little video here because I can't compare it to a Base Zeus, or I can't compare it to an Alpha M, or I can't compare it to a How To Beast, or any of these guys. I can't compare it to them. Why should I even try? I know that sharing my voice, sharing my story, sharing my thoughts and feelings is bringing value, because I know that there are people there that, yeah, while they may watch all those other guys, they'll also watch my video and say, oh, well, you know what? I like Josh's perspective on it. I like the way that he shares his mind, shares what's on his mind. I like the way that he talks about, why didn't it pop up? I don't know why it didn't pop up here, Azim. It's weird. But I don't know. Like people will think, so I think for you, it's important to not compare yourself to Chris Stuckmann in the sense of numbers and stuff like that, because he's been in this game forever. But I think what's more important is to think, what value can you bring in doing your movie reviews? What can you say differently or do differently? How can you deliver your message in a way that other people might say, wow, I like the way Azim talks about that movie? Because anyone can share an opinion on a movie, but we like hearing certain people's voices because we like the way that they talk about it, the enthusiasm in their voice, the way that they analyze films and stuff. So find a way to make what you have to bring to the table different. I think that's how you kind of step outside of the comparing piece. I know it's normal to feel like, why would I try when someone is already doing it better? But everyone has their own unique voice to share. It's important to find yours. I asked you guys this question here. What's one class you feel like you could have benefited from having a tutor in? Dono said trigonometry. Jalen says, well, in elementary, but now. FXS says math. Anthony says economics. Trinity says probably English. I'm really good at math and science, but English is an oof. I guess English is difficult to tutor. It depends. It depends on the English class, I guess. If it's like you're talking about like reading books and things like that, or vocabulary, I guess it depends on the English class. Synchro says math, of course. Stuart says, I really improved my performance in music by having a guitar tutor. Yeah, Stuart, I think that's a good example there. Having a tutor can help you really specialize what you want to do and focus and do better. Darktar says, yeah, like I said, if I asked for help sooner, I probably could have gotten a 65 or even a 70. Definitely, Darktar. It's never too late to ask for help and to reach out to a tutor. Let's see. Synchro Legend says algebra. Reading through here. Let's see. Jalen says every class in city grade. Rage Master says, and some of them make more money depending on how many views they have. Yeah, that's true. Like there's money attached to the view count, all that stuff as well. But I personally think that the value you can offer a person matters so much more. Touching one person and changing their life in such a positive way, in my opinion, matters so much more than a million people watching your video and then moving on and then not really having your message resonate with them. That's just my perspective on it. Rage Master said, let's see. Anthony Cuento says, I'm hesitant to start YouTube, but I'm going to do it still. Anthony, I agree with you, man. I understand the fear, but I think you have an important voice to share. I think you have a very, very knowledgeable mind when it comes to superheroes and the superhero world and everything going on, man. And I think your voice is worth putting out there. Haley says, I don't know where I'd be without the Josh Speaks. Numbers don't count. The impact does. Yeah, the impact. Guys, the impact you can have on a person's life trumps any numbers, any number amount you have. Okay, let me read through these quickly. Everglow says, I used to like Alpha M, but he started coming off way too masculine for my taste. I hear you on that. I think Alpha M's fun. I like his energy in his videos and stuff. And he has a different style and different approach to how he talks about dating and stuff like that, which is very different from me or anyone else for that matter. All right, I'm gonna answer one or two more comments here. Let's see. FXS says, I haven't found channels the same as yours. Your channel is unique and really great. Thank you on that. Yeah, and I feel like I always find it difficult to place my channel in a category because I don't really consider myself like a dating coach channel. I'm not here to teach you how to get the hottest girl, the hot 1% of women. That's not my thing. And then I don't know where my channel really falls. I just care about helping people, and I care about talking about our feelings, and I care about thinking about how we can improve and grow. I don't know where that falls, but put me in that category. All right. I want to walk through, guys. Can't fall asleep to boom. Then boom, I get notice you're live. Oh, I'm sorry, Blessing K-Man. I hope that you can go to sleep soon. FX says Alpha M has too much Chad energy for my taste. I don't think that. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from on that. I think he definitely carries definitely more masculine approach to things. You know, his look, his demeanor, the way he talks. It's his sense of being. We're all different in so many ways. You know. Anyway, I want to walk you through the 5 points here, guys. Let's get through these 5 points again. We're talking about 5 expert tips to help you stop school stress and anxiety from ruining your life. Let's go through it, guys. Tip number 1, make self-care a daily essential activity. Guys, this is so important. Find time to incorporate more sleep, a healthy eating cycle, time to study, but also time to relax, time to unwind, time to meditate if you can. And a good tool to help you do that is the app Calm. This is the meditation app I use. I would highly recommend it. I use it every single morning. And it just helps me kind of get into a calm state of being. It helps me kind of be mindful in my approach to the day. And I think it'd be really, really helpful for you as well. Tip number 2 is this. Don't let overthinking spiral into more. Not more move overthinking, into more overthinking. When I say that, basically what I'm saying is that it's very easy to start to doubt ourselves once things start going wrong and not working out. And the important piece is to catch yourself when you start to feel like you're thinking negatively, to catch yourself and to say, you know what? I see that my mind is in this place. And the best way for me to kind of manage that is to kind of realize, is there anything I could do about it in this moment? The truth is no, then let me go home and let me figure out a solution. But sometimes overthinking comes about because there are other challenges and problems in our life that maybe is affecting our schoolwork and affecting our home lives. And that's why I think a site like betterhelp.com, if you go to betterhelp.com/thejoshspeaks, that's my specific link for it. But speaking to a counselor or a therapist about what's going on in your life might help you kind of start to process what's happening and how you can gain better control over it. Like I said, sometimes it's not just, oh, I didn't work hard enough in that class. Sometimes it is other things on your mind. Sometimes it is, depression or family issues or, anxiety or issues that might be bigger than just study harder, And I think BetterHelp is a great resource to kind of help you start to work with someone to work through those challenges. Tip number 3 is to schedule as much of your day as best as you can. Guys, it's so important to try to plan out what you can do during the day, because having some kind of plan, some kind of working plan is going to allow you to very easily start to kind of manage that stress and anxiety, because you're going to start to feel like you have a better grip of what's going on. You have a better grip of how to approach things. And the tool that I use to kind of organize what I'm doing is an app called Trello. What's cool about Trello is that it kind of lets you set up different cards. Each of these little white bubble things are cards, and each column is a different category. I have multiple boards set up here. I have a creative projects. I have a building community. I have YouTube videos. I have different boards there for the different things, but you can drag around cards. You can set up checklists on them. You can add images and stuff like that, like you see here. And it's just a good way to kind of keep everything organized. And what's cool, if you go to the Trello website, they have different templates. They have definitely templates for school to help you organize specific classes or organize projects, organize just everything you have going on in your day, so you can get a wide view of it to know what you need to work on and what you don't need to work on then and there. FXS says, wasn't there some controversy with BetterHelp a while back? Yeah, there was controversy with them. From what I understand, a lot of it had to do with kind of how certain wording was in their terms of service. As soon as that kind of became apparent to people, they quickly went and fixed that and made it better, and they talked about it. So it seems like the issue was more on like the technical policy side of it, privacy policy type of thing. But they reviewed that and fixed that really early on. But in terms of a service, I think they're an amazing service to use and to really work with. Tip number 4 is don't compare your success to those around you. Now, we do this a lot. We see other people succeeding or doing well in an exam or doing well in school, and we just feel like we're not good enough, like we're not smart enough, like we can't hang, we can't compete. I think if you feel like you're in a place where you're comparing yourself a lot, it's important to realize the value that you bring as an individual, the difference you make in this world that no one else can ever compare to, and to recognize how special you really are. And one way to kind of, I think, start to get into that mindset, I would recommend checking out my book, Embracing the Awkward. It's a guide for teens to succeed at school, life, and relationships. If you go to thejoshspeaks.com/awkward, that's the best place to check it out. It'll take you over to the Amazon link. But in this book, I break down how to deal with rejection, how to manage stress, how to kind of find your path and your purpose in life. I talk a lot about my own personal experience, and then I offer a lot of practical tips that you could start implementing in your own day-to-day. And tip number 5 is this, guys. Ask for help when you need it. There's no shame in it. Look, I know sometimes it's scary to reach out for help. It's scary to acknowledge that we're struggling with something, or to tell people that, like we just don't understand something because we're afraid they may think we're weird or we're stupid or we're not good enough. But asking for help is going to be the first step in making an actual change in your life. Now, since we're talking about school stress and anxiety, I would recommend reaching out and finding a tutor that works for you. There are tons and tons of online tutors. Care.com is just one service you can use, care.com/tutors. One service that you can use to kind of find a tutor in your area or to find a tutor online. But, people also in here recommended Khan Academy, and there's lots and lots of opportunities. If you're struggling in a class and you need help, don't hold yourself back from reaching out and finding a tutor. I think it'll be super helpful for you, and every single one of you can benefit from having someone to help you in a topic that you're struggling with. And that leads us, guys, to our mindful moment. This has been a little bit longer of a stream. I tried to keep it in an hour, but I'll try my best next time. But I do want to say this, guys. What I love about these mindful moments is that it gives us a moment to stop and reflect on the things that we talked about in the stream and the things that we heard. Think deeply about what resonated with you. What's something that stuck out to you? Was it one of the resources? Was it one of the tips? Was it a comment someone said in the chat? I want you to kind of take this moment to think deeply about all the capability and power and opportunity you have within inside you right now. Because yes, you may feel like things are tough, but I want you to understand that underneath that surface, you have everything it takes to be somebody great. Now, what I love to do is, in these moments, I raise my meditation bell, and I want each and every single one of you to close your eyes. We'll do this together. We're going to close our eyes, and just for 10 seconds, I want us to think deeply about right in here, guys, right in here. Find it. See it. It's there. You have what it takes to be somebody great. Don't give up on yourself. Believe in yourself. You have it. I know. I speak to so many of you guys, and just hearing the passion and ambition and the opportunity that lies under the surface, bring it out there. If you're stressed out over school, don't let school define you. You offer so much more, and you can bring so much more to the table than school bring to you. So don't ever give up on yourself. And I want you to close your eyes. We'll think together about what it would look like to believe in yourself, to not give up, and to know the power that you have deep inside. 10 seconds, guys. Let's think together. Let's warm up the bell. I don't just say it because I want to say it. I say it because I mean it. I know you have what it takes to be somebody great. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of this live stream. If you're watching a replay, check out the links over there, where I'm going to go deeper into dealing with stress and anxiety. But to everyone that's live watching right now, head on over to Instagram for the Instagram after party. Thank you for being a part of this live stream. I hope it was helpful for you. Hit the thumbs up on your way out if you haven't already. And I will see you guys over on Instagram. As always, love and peace. See you guys next time.